So the mainstream media is suddenly pretending to care about free speech. And why would that be? Well, here's the headline. Elon Musk suspends the Twitter accounts of multiple major left-wing media figures. Yes, so they're taking a break from their constant demands to restrict free speech to complain when they actually have to live by the same standards as everybody else. So what's going on? Let's see. Vox journalist Aaron Rupar, CNN reporter Donnie O'Sullivan, New York Times reporter Ryan Mack, Washington Post reporter Drew Harwell, The Intercept journalist Micah Lee, and hardcore leftist Keith Olbermann, they have all been temporarily suspended from Twitter for 1 week. And how did this all start? Well, it started when a lunatic attacked the car that Elon Musk's son was in. And how did this lunatic know to attack the car? Well, there was a Twitter account tracking the movements, real-time movements of his private jet. Quote, last night, a car carrying Lil X, yeah, I think he's got some crazy names for his kids, in LA was followed by a crazy stalker, thinking it was me, who later blocked my car from moving and climbed onto the hood. And Musk has said that he'll be taking legal action against Jack Sweeney, a university student and programmer who started the Elon Jet flight tracking account. Now, Musk had said previously that for the sake of free speech, he was not going to take that account down, which really he could have done immediately because it did broadly violate existing rules against doxing on Twitter. So it was probably a mistake not to just do that immediately. Because again, for a long time, doxing has been a violation of the Twitter rules. It's just that the rules, as we know, have been applied arbitrarily, and we know always in what direction until Musk took over. He tweeted, any account doxing real-time location info of anyone will be suspended, as it is a physical safety violation. This includes posting links to sites with real-time location info. Posting locations someone traveled to on a slightly delayed basis isn't a safety problem, so it is okay. So you can have a tracker, but it has to be delayed a little bit, because obviously real-time tracking is a danger, as this lunatic who attacked Musk's car proved. I don't think anybody would want to be tracked at 24/7 in real time, would you? And that brings us back to this Aaron Rupar and Donnie O'Sullivan and Ryan Mack and Keith Olbermann. What did they do? Well, they linked to a site that had this tracking information on it. Elon Musk wrote, they posted my exact real-time location, basically assassination coordinates, in obvious direct violation of Twitter terms of service. And he said, same doxing rules apply to journalists as to everyone else. And that is exactly what journalists don't want to hear. And this is why they hate Elon Musk taking over Twitter so much, because for the longest time, there was no rules, free for all for them. They could do whatever they could dox people. Taylor Lorenz could dox people, no problem. Misinformation, not a problem for them. Disinformation, not a problem for them. As we've seen from the Twitter files, the brass at Twitter, they were their allies. They shared the same goals, political goals. Now, legacy media journalists have been caterwauling about journalists being suspended for sharing publicly available data. Except there's a problem with that. Here's from Tim Pool. Jack Sweeney was not posting public information. Sweeney was posting the private information of Elon Musk, and he knew. Elon had a PIA, which seeks to protect the privacy of entities using private aircraft. And then he shares this. To address the privacy concerns with access to this data, and that data is aircraft addresses, the FAA has created the PIA program, which allows operators to use alternate ICAO aircraft addresses that aren't tied to an aircraft in the Civil Aviation Registry. And then he posted this from Jack Sweeney, who runs that account that tracks Elon Musk's movement. Yes, so the PIA ICAO can be changed monthly if chosen to do so, but even then, it's relatively easy to identify. I'm confident I can write software to identify it actually. And Tim Pool wrote, Sweeney actually bragged that he could write software to expose Elon Musk's privacy info. Elon Musk says, correct. So no, this was not publicly available data that anybody could just go and check. Yeah, so it's only public once he's made it public after sleuthing and pulling together other bits of data like a puzzle. And then, of course, you've got the potential for errors, which could just put other people at risk. So yes, this is doxing, and those mainstream journalists who link to this info were also doxing, and therefore they've been suspended for 7 days. And I guess that makes the media feel not very special anymore, because they're sure making a fuss. Kind of reminds me of people who didn't want the jab mandates to go away in Canada, because those mandates and being up to date with their shots made them feel special. Because all of a sudden, those things that used to be rights for everybody, well, now they were privileges, and they had the privileges. And they're only special if only you have them. If everybody can get on a plane or a train, well, those are just human rights. No, they prefer privileges. And these journalists were privileged before. They could do things that other people couldn't. And Elon taking over Twitter is becoming more and more of a shock to their system. Here Elon tweeted, so inspiring to see the newfound love of freedom of speech by the press. And he might as well say things like this because they already hated him anyway. And there's nothing he can do to make them not hate him. The collective has already decided that he's evil, and that's just it. He said if anyone posted real-time locations and addresses of New York Times reporters, the FBI would be investigating. There'd be hearings on Capitol Hill, and Biden would give speeches about the end of democracy. All absolutely true. And Elon Musk is exposing their hypocrisy, and they hate that. You're just supposed to believe them unquestioningly. You're not supposed to trust your own eyes, your own ears. You're not supposed to use your own brain. They do the thinking for you. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.